you guys, I have Angela here with me. Angela is not only my friend, but she's a mother, she's a business owner, she's an author, she's a public speaker, and the list goes on and on. She's written a book that was on Amazon's best-selling list, and so we're in for a treat today. But Angela, I want to know, get to know you a little bit more. Prior to me even knowing you or meeting you, tell me what intrigued you to start learning about people's unique geniuses?
Yes. Well, first, thanks for that introduction. That just made my day. If you can just, follow me around and say great things about me. But it's such an honor to be here today with all of you guys and just to get to spend time in your space too, Jess, because I absolutely love you and all of your energy and the great things that you're doing as well. Unique genius in like what inspired me to kind of explore and live in that. I've been a business owner, I say all of my life. It dates me, but I started my first business over 25 years ago as a dance studio. I started a dance and gymnastics studio and had two young kids at the time, two littles, and was basically a single mom and just have this point, and I write about it in the book that I was like, I cannot do choreography and like had my QuickBooks or accounting software open. A mom was calling me complaining about their daughter's class. I had one kid throwing things all over the floor, another kid screaming. And I'm like, what is this? This is nuts. This is just chaos of nuts. And I can't possibly, I mean, obviously, we can't do it all in our business and in our life, but it was just a moment of what am I doing? I don't like this. And sort of an epiphany of, you know what? I don't have to do the things that I like. I can do things that make money or I can, and that's basically it. I can keep doing things that make money. And if I want to make a lot of money, I have to figure out how to do more of that. And I think that wasn't really a concept that was talked about a lot, or especially for women, I guess, like given permission to think that. And so a long time ago, just started hiring out the things that I didn't want to do that were kind of uncommon, that had my first assistants in and I just had assistants that were just following me around doing stuff at that time. But my goal was just to hire out everything. It wasn't sophisticated at that time because I really didn't know anything about running a business at 24 years old. But um, just hiring people to do everything that I didn't want to do so I could do things that made money. And that's how it started, how I could do things that made money and do things that I liked doing. And that was my concept of like, I'm not going to do anything I don't like to do.
I love that. I love that. We get so, yeah, there's so many little things to do, and we're not motivated to do those things because it's not enjoyable to us. Um, I just recently, I'm really into personality tests and getting to know myself and becoming more self-aware. And back at the DD Experts, I got this from Sam Taggart. He puts out this lesson of like writing your own user manual so that people understand how you operate and how to work with you. And so I've taken a lot of different personality tests, but I just recently took one and it was your unique geniuses. And um, I loved being able to understand like who I really was and figure out my working geniuses. And it really helped me understand, oh yeah, it's not a capability test. I am capable of doing, a lot of different things, but I may not enjoy them or it may
Yeah.
not drive me. So I think that's important to remember, but it's really cool being like, yeah, that does not drive me. I don't enjoy doing that thing. And this is what brings me energy, and I can do more of that.
Yes. I love that you're so into those tests. Like that's me. I love like exploring and finding out about myself. And sometimes you need to do it through those assessments. Like it's not common when people are like, I don't know, how do I find my unique genius? And that test, working genius, other things, like sometimes you have to go on a treasure hunt to figure out and find out what yours is. Like I define unique genius as three things in my term of it. Like so many people talk about different things, your unique abilities in 10x is easier than 2x, working genius. I define unique genius as things that are you're really good at, that are your like natural born strengths. and then things that light you up and that get you closer to your ultimate align with your mission and vision. And if it like trisects all three of those things, then that's like living fully in your unique genius. Because sometimes we do things that we're really good at in our business, but they drain us and we hate to do them. And so just because you're awesome at it, if you feel like it makes your life suck, by all means, do not do that. Or sometimes we do a lot of things that we're good at and feel good doing, but they're not moving the needle
Right.
anywhere. And
Right.
so that's kind of where I found that sweet spot. If you can figure out the things that trisect those and live in those fully, that's how you create this life of joy and impact that goes somewhere.
Which is what we all want, right?
Yeah.
Angela, going back to your background, at what point did you really want to turn this into what you were doing? What drove you to want to help other business owners finding their unique genius and delegate to elevate?
Yeah. So it kind of was a path. Um, when I had my dance studio, and then I started traveling around the country, coaching other dance studio owners. And that was before business coaching was actually a thing, of what people do now. And there were like actual programs and things. I really just traveled around the country and um, did it. And I was using that tool of like, do what you do. Don't use somebody else's blueprint. Like, make it yours and live in that. I didn't like coin that term and title it that clear back then. It wasn't until I wrote my book 5 years ago that I started talking about that. And I was doing lots of coaching and consulting with business owners, but I was frustrated because I didn't really have a tool to help them do it. So that's when I started the company Unique Genius, and our strategic partners, Elevated Virtual Assistants, to be like, here's a tool. I'm not just going to share with you the concept of this is a good idea to do this. Let's get these things off of your plate, but here's an actual tool that we can put in place to help you do it.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, we're talking about these business owners and learning what to delegate. What are some of the best tips you can give a business owner to learn how do they find that their unique zone, their unique geniuses, so they know what to hold on to and what to delegate?
So we have a workbook or exercise, and it is a lot about finding what trisects in that. But it's basically, I mean, we have lots of fancy things to it, but it really is basically writing down everything that you do for a week or for 2 weeks in your personal life and in your business, every single thing. And then going back through that list and circling it if it's a strength of yours or if it requires you and only you. No one else can go to the gym for you yet. um, oh, and then
How will you figure that one out?
putting a star by it if it lights you up. And then if it aligns with your mission and vision, highlighting it. And if it doesn't do, yeah, keyword not yet. I mean, some days, maybe. Maybe we can push a button at some point. Go to the gym for me. Okay.
That would be nice.
Um, But if it's not all three of those, if it's not circled, highlighted with a star, then it's not in your unique genius. And how do you figure out everything that is not? How do you figure out a way to either, can it go away? Can you delete it? Can you automate it? Or can you delegate? Although I've come to, that's how it starts, and that's the verbiage we kind of still use. Although I really don't like the word delegate, and I talk a lot about that now, that business owners don't want to, so I need to figure out a new word in that concept. But delegating seems like a lot of work because delegate, if we delegate something, now we have to train, manage, and monitor it. And nobody wants to do that. And so that's really in the concept of our company of finding next level people that you didn't have to delegate to, and that's in your company too. Find people that are awesome.
Right.
They're leaders that you're coming alongside that you don't have to delegate to, but you're just like, here's a result I want you to own.
Well, yeah, I do love that because I think that's the tricky part is I mean, I've had assistants before and some of them that just come in and pick up and see the missing pieces and know exactly what to do and I don't even have to think about it. And then there's other times where you have to delegate or give them these tasks And that's exactly it. I didn't fully get it off of my mind. I'm still stressed about it. It didn't get done. It didn't get taken care of. I'm monitoring it. I'm checking in on it. I couldn't just fully turn it over or feel that it was being taken care of. So, where can they step in and pick up the pieces where I can completely back up and be hands off with it?
You described that so well because it doesn't do any good if it's not completely off of your plate. And we call it passing the ball. Like, if you can't, just like a football team, like, if you don't have a team that you trust to pass the ball to and to take the ball to the finish line, it doesn't do you any good if you are the quarterback and like you feel like you have to score at like every
Yeah.
time.
You
So
can't pass the ball. You have to hold on to the ball. You have to run the ball. You got to tackle the people on the way. You got to do all of the things we have to be able to trust. Yeah, I love that. Going back to that, what is the first step in finding somebody that you trust to do that? I know that's kind of, what you have put together. How do you find trust and how do you help these business owners or people that are looking for virtual assistants put their trust into them?
yeah, so one in the overall of who you're finding in your organization, whether it be, and I'll talk about with us, whether it's people in your organization, their strategic partner and virtual help. But I love the book Who Not How by Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. And that talks about finding these kind of people. So it's a whole book on that concept of you're finding the who, not people that you delegate to, that you're finding people that are better than you at this thing, right? Like, as a visionary entrepreneur, you are most likely not a person that knows about processes or wants to deal with your accounting. And you don't want to go find somebody that you have to teach your accounting system. At least I don't. I don't even want to know what my accounting system is. You want to find somebody that is better at numbers and accounting and can own that. You want to find somebody that's better at marketing than you and can tell you what to do for the market. You can cast the vision and tell them the expectations of where this ship is going, but you have to not be scared enough as a leader to find other leaders, to find the who, not how. We help business owners with um, staffing team solutions, and take that off of you to find people that are rock stars, that people that are ready to come and lock arms with you in admin positions in your business, whether that be answering the phone or outside calls or supplementing or collections or bookkeeping or marketing or anything like that, that are that caliber of individual. And we do lots of screening and testing and all those personality tests that you talk about, to take the emotion out of it and rely completely on science to find people that have the capacity to be those project managers, integrators, work with the visionary, and come in and own a position in your business that you can really trust.
Yes, I love that. Um, Great. So I'm sure this is a question you get a lot, but as we put out the webinar, I received an email in our inbox when they put it out and they said, please ask Angela this question. We've got a lot of sales reps on here as well as business owners. That's the space that we're in with home services and in sales. So actually, I want to turn to the chat for just a couple of seconds and see what role are you guys in? Are you a business owner? Are you a sales rep? Are you an account manager? Give us kind of what your roles are in the chat and we will go through those. And in the meantime, this gentleman emailed in and was asking, I'm fresh, I'm new, I'm a sales rep, I'm starting my own business. So he's branching out, he's brand new to the space. How does he know when is the right time to look into getting help or a virtual assistant of sorts so that he can start offloading some of those things? Because it can be very overwhelming in the beginning, but maybe cash flow doesn't allow for you. So, how do you know at what point is right to be able to offload some of those things off your plate?
That is a great question. And I'm going to tell you that it should be your absolutely first hire and the first thing that you do, not because I'm trying to sell to you. But like, if I was your business coach and I didn't do this, like, as somebody who started businesses and been in everything and started at zero or like started over from, I have had all kinds of life happen and made not only bad business decisions in my journey, but bad marriage decisions that means starting over and not having the finances. But the very first thing I would do to magnify myself isn't wait till I can afford help, but to hire somebody so that I can like throw gasoline on what I'm doing. And so to give you guys like an idea, an assistant, an admin assistant, most of the roles that you're hiring using us for are $2,000 a month. And I say that so you can have some context of what it is. It's different than hiring somebody in the US that you're hiring a full-time employee, that you have payroll, that you have all this stuff. If you had 40, like if you had somebody taking all this stuff off of your plate, like what could you do? What could you move forward? If you are in sales, you guys know, like you are a machine. Every hour that you are in front of people, you are magnifying that money. And every time that you're not and spending time doing something else, you're taking yourself out of the field, you're taking yourself away from that sales power, and that's money. So like how much time do you need to replace to repay $2,000? And it's not only we talk about buy back your time, like Dan Martell's book, Buy Back Your Time. We talk about it all in the form of time, but I am a big person on energy. And you guys, I love sales. Like I have the only door to door I've done is I did Cutco. And man, I love my Cutco days. I say every time I want
That's saying something. You actually knocked door to door doing Cutco, and
yeah. Oh, I love
I
it.
love that.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. I was like, it was the best time of my life. Yeah, as like 16, 17. Anyway.
Wow. Do
Um,
you love knocking the doors, just meeting new people, or what was
I
it that
just love sales. Like I absolutely love the adrenaline of sales. And I hadn't ever been in the D2D world since. And since I met you guys, I joke about it. I was like, man, if I need an adrenaline fix, I'm just gonna come and ask Sam to knock some doors with people.
yeah.
Because I just love it. Like the everything about sales. Like
Roller coasters, none of that. It doesn't even compare.
I could sell anything to anyone. It's different selling and marketing your own business. Like now I'm on a different level of like talking from the stage and stuff. But anyway, I know that when I can be in front of people, but it's that energy, you guys. And if I have to do stuff that sucks my energy, I am way less efficient every hour that I'm out in the field in front of people. I also know myself in that if I have a to-do list of things to do, I'm going to do that to-do list before I go get on the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, well, I have to do all this stuff today. I have to set up this for my company. I have to do this. I have to do that. I know I'm energized by the sale and being in front of people, but I will absolutely do my to-do list until I get out there. And if I make it so that I have to pay somebody to do the rest of the stuff, then I don't have anything left to do but go sell.
On the door. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, so that brings me to my next point. It looks like people put in the chat, we've got people from marketing, COO, business owner, sales manager, sales director. So we've got quite the different positions here and roles. With that being said, we've talked a lot about business owners getting the help that they need, but where can like our COOs, our sales managers, where can those things really come into play by getting a virtual assistant and getting help on their plates?
Yeah. So for anyone, it is that like executive assistant, we call it executive partner. You can think that for any position in the business, whether you're the COO, whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing, like how do you replace yourself? How do you do that list so that you can do what you do best, preserve your energy, do what you like show up every day. This is what I think. Like you've done it correctly when you wake up and you look at your calendar and you do not think anything sucks. I don't
Yeah.
know who said that, but instead of saying like, "Oh, did I design my life and am I doing the things I love?" Like, what if you looked at it by every day? Like, do I have anything on my calendar that sucks?
Oh, it's
If
so
you
true.
don't, like then you've done it correctly. So how do you figure out and design and get it off whatever position you have? Like you can do that. How do you replace yourself with and work in your unique genius? For a COO, there's positions in the business also. You can be more strategic. I'd say for that position, like in any home service business, you placing admins is a very cost effective and scalable thing. So we help businesses that are, this is the very first admin, up to $150 million roofing companies, because we're the most cost effective and efficient way to scale. And support your team, and they get to be part of an awesome culture, and you get to scale and be awesome too. Um, for sale, for marketing, same thing. Do the strategy of marketing, do the creativity. Um, I was just talking to somebody else about like creativity and chaos don't coexist.
Mm.
So you can't be creative and be in your magic when you're in chaos. So let somebody else do the stuff you don't like to do so you can really create results. For sales, again, what can you take off your plate, whether it be as a personal assistant, like somebody is doing everything else in your life, delivering your groceries, making sure you're set up for success, setting appointments, following up, managing whatever software you're using for your sales so that you can do nothing else but be in the energy of being your best at who you're in front of.
Yeah, I love that and can relate to that so much, not only in my work life, but in my personal life. It got to the point, you guys, some of you know me from the webinars previously, but I've got 5 kids. So married, 5 kids from 12 all the way to 3. And my last 2 are Irish twins. So I've got a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. And 2 and 3, 3 and 4, it's just not easy. It doesn't work well. And so something that I had to learn was if I was going to be a full-time mom and also be working full time, I had to learn to delegate things. And I wanted to be able to come home from work and focus just on being with my kids. And I couldn't do that when the house was dirty. I couldn't do that when I saw that all of these things needed to be done at home. And I really had to look inside and say, it's not worth my time or my energy. And I can't get into my zone or be with my kids if the house is a mess. So I'm going to delegate or hand that over to somebody else. And the minute that I started paying somebody to clean my house, it was the best thing that I'd ever done in my whole life. And there was no guilt to it. It was, and I felt right about it. I'm like, I can spend time with my kids. I don't have to worry about my house and I can focus and be where I'm supposed to be. And so it was one of the best things that I've done. And I just can't reiterate how amazing it is to turn these things over to an assistant or an executive partner, like Angela likes to say, to give them these tasks or objectives to handle on their own at work or at home so that you can be in the lanes that you excel in and that bring you energy. Like we talk about being so tired. We I don't necessarily think that we're tired. It's not that we didn't necessarily get enough sleep. I think things in life where people are draining our energy. And
Yeah.
so because I get really energized. I may be feeling really tired, and as soon as something excites me, the energy just like snaps right back into my body. And so, where can we find those things of really, honing in and finding things that bring us energy and staying there?
Ah, so much so. And I love that you talked about in the home because that's so important. And it might not be we're focused on solutions in our business, and this isn't like a solution that we provide, but I help a lot of people. I just help a lot of people with this because that home and being at peace in your home is so important. And so I have a house manager now. So it's more than, and I have had for a while, and I help people hire them. Like, I don't just need somebody, like you said, to clean. And I don't have, I'm just like 5 kids, like, oh my gosh, you make my head spin. Um, like my kids are now 23 and 25. And then we now have, I got married and we have 13 and 15. So no littles. But I just can't even manage myself. And I find energy like in having a house man, like making sure that I have groceries and all of my laundry is just like neatly folded in my drawer and somebody cleans up after me. I know that might sound, I don't know, high maintenance, but I cannot have like, if I want to show up the best for everyone that I want to show up the best for, my family, like you said, my kids, um, the people that I serve, my team, then I need to be taken care of and not do the things that don't suck my energy and like seeing things in chaos and disorganized do. So um I guess I just off of everything you shared of like give you all permission that it's not somebody else's blueprint. and to stop feeling like guilt or shame about, I want help with this, or I'm going to spend money getting help on this. Like maybe you DoorDash every single day, whatever. Whatever it is, like it doesn't have to be what somebody else's blueprint looks like. And I think so often, um, especially because we can see so much success in these industries of other people, and we go look at what they're doing, and instead of following the concept of what they're doing, we follow the exact blueprint. Like they got help in this way, this was their first hire, this is how they did their org chart. uh,
Love that.
and that's not what it, don't do it like that. Like think about what makes you happy. And it's different in every business. Like, yeah, you need to hire things, but maybe you're an owner that loves numbers and you absolutely love getting in your numbers. Then your bookkeeper doesn't have to be your first hire. Like, hire according to everything that we've talked about and to support making you and your energy feel good.
That's so, so good. I love you talking about utilize that concept, but not exactly their blueprint. Everybody's different. So follow the concept and utilize that. That's so powerful. We've got a question by, I think I'm saying it right, Cavion. He said, what would I roughly need to budget to have everything taken care of to focus on selling as you describe? So he's in sales. He wants to focus more on selling.
So in our model, our business, we only focus on full-time help. Because the caliber individual that we do, that's just our model. They are full-time career professionals, and it's $2,000 a month for a full-time 40-hour week person. They're awesome. They're a rock star. We go to the Philippines. We do in-person stuff with that summits, events to elevate their mindset. Um, that doesn't mean that has to be your budget if that's not what you need. There are other solutions out there. I'm happy to talk to you about that. So if you want to message me privately, that doesn't mean it's not our solution, but I just love helping people trying to figure it out. Another thing is you can also share assistance with maybe people on a team. Like you're in a company and there's people on a team, and I only need an assistant 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week. And sales teams, it's still the same, like they're getting the same concept, and you just know, hey, mine is helping me from 8 to 12, and now they're helping my friend from 12 to 4. And so there's workarounds and things like that that we can work with you, and there's also other things out there. Um, I love a full-time model because it just means you have somebody full-time having your back.
Yes, yes. You guys, I will be sharing Angela's link so that you can book to chat with her team or ask her any questions here shortly. So we'll get that out to you in the chat. But yeah, I love that. There's so many different options around it. It's not just a one-way stream. Like it's not just one way for everyone. It's not the same blueprint. We don't all need an assistant for the same amount of time. So yeah, I totally get that. Um, how do you balance aggressive growth goals and with personal and team well-being? So, as a business owner, maybe you're working on, some of your personal goals, but also like your whole entire team and those goals.
Oh, well, everything goes back to me for to my executive assistant. Um, the first thing I thought of when you said this, like, how do you balance, like, yeah, your aggressive team goals and your personal goals or your team's personal goals? And I teach this to our entire leadership team, and our entire team is a concept of 7 pillars. Not going to remember what they all are because I'm just on the spot right now. But so like pillars in your life of, I know they are relationship, finance, personal growth. One is business, like mental, spiritual. Did I say physical? Um,
I think so.
I can share what these are. I was like, why can't I remember what all of they are? What all of the pillars are in your life. But the concept of this is that we do get to, like, this is the balancing act. You need to be focused on your physical health. It's really important, like taking care of yourself physically. And this is something that drops people, are like, I am all into my business, and then you see their health completely decline. They're not sleeping, they are not eating right because they are running after that. Or they are like, I'm going to run after this business goal for 2 years. And now my marriage fell apart, or my relationship with my kids fell apart. Or I did all this and I have no balance in my life and I didn't travel. I didn't work on myself at all. I let my whole, like, again, spiritual, mental health, whatever that means to you, completely fall apart. Or I ran after this and I let my financial goals go, go. And so it's, if you look at every area of your life, and my executive assistant has them all on a spreadsheet, like I have a goal for all of them. And how are we making sure that we don't have to be running after each of them, but that you have goals and are moving the ball forward in all of them? And my executive assistant helps me hold all of those accountable so that there's not a week that I let one of those go. And it would be so easy to do without one. And I'm not saying you have to have one. Maybe you can have an accountability partner. Some people have a business coach that does that. Sometimes you can just have an accountability partner like in your same space, but that's one thing you're journaling or going through every week. And mine are just in my weekly journal so that at least Sunday night when I like look ahead at the week, I'm like, okay, oh, you're right. Like, don't forget. Maybe reach out to your kids or maybe reach out to mom or something like that. But my executive assistant helps me hold those accountable as well so that you don't get so off track. And the like visual of the pillars is you can like be number one, like a 10x your business and far exceeded what you want to in your goals, but did it mean anything if your marriage fell apart or if you got in such bad health that you don't even feel good doing it anymore?
Yeah, life is a balancing act, and I think a friend of mine once told me it's not necessarily us balancing it, but how can we live within harmony of all of those pillars?
Yeah.
And I love that word harmony because life isn't always balanced. Sometimes it is off balance where we're focusing a little bit more at home or maybe a little bit more at work at the time. But I absolutely love what you said because I think we get, success, we have to put everything into it. In our minds, we say, okay, to be successful in this, I have to put all of me into this and throw all of it at it at one time. And we lose sight of everything else, all of our other goals. And we're not just a one track human. We have multiple goals in different areas and in different pillars of our lives. And so it's important to not just jump at one thing and throw everything else to the wayside in order to do that, because we won't be successful in a lot of ways. We'll drop the ball in many areas and be very defeated if we do that. I love that.
I would like to put a little caveat on that though of I ran in that for a long time and then I just read how many books am I going to tell you guys to read on this thing? Okay, so I think it's Scaling Up, Dr. Benjamin Hardy's newest book. Um, I did for a long time in those pillars, though. I set like big goals in all the pillars, and we should live in harmony in them. But you can't go all in. I would not recommend going all in on all of them because then it's hard. Like you need to pick in a season, like, okay, we're doing this, and what else aligns? Can I get my family aligned on this goal? Like it does not work, probably. My husband would disagree to decide to do an Ironman and 10 extra business and go on 10 family vacations
Yeah.
and like all of those big things in a span of 12 months also don't live in harmony.
Yeah. And that's why I say, it ebbs and flows. There's times when you're going to put more focus on one area than the other towards one pillar. But yeah, we have to learn to work in harmony and say, I'm going to put a little more effort over here, but where can I take from? There's only so much of you. Where can I take from? Where can I hand off? Where can you give in a little bit in order to put a little more effort towards something else, I think is kind of the deal. Um, can you share some real world examples with us, Angela, of somebody that's utilized, focused more on their unique geniuses and where it's taken them as a team, as a business owner, how it's impacted their life?
I have so many, and that just like that's what lights me up is when people are utilizing it and it's like just transformed their spirit and really their spirit and their energy. So, I have lots of examples of people that are using it successfully in their business as admins, right, of all the roles that we talked about. And those are exciting, and people are like, it's efficient in their business and it's cost effective in scaling, and that's all great. Um, Not discounting that, but the people that it transforms their life. Annie Gunn comes to mind in the circle. Like,
Ah,
they don't have to say everyone's names, but when somebody really locks arms with an executive assistant and just you can see like that they're just lighter. And that's what they say. Like they just message me over and over and just like, I feel so much lighter.
yeah,
I finally don't feel like I have to hold all of the plates up myself. And
yeah,
um, so that's one. I mean, just somebody, just the weight being lifted off them, the difference that it makes in their physical health, their mental health, and then the new avenues they're able to explore in their business. And I like those are the several examples of that. And then the people that have just had major breakthroughs in their business because of that, like I had somebody as a brain dump. So those are my favorite things in home service businesses. I have about three others like in the last few months that they're like, I don't know. They just didn't feel like they were justified of having an executive assistant. They are like, the role I really should fill is this admin role I need in my business. But I just hear you talking so much about I need to preserve my energy. And people just discount. They're like, I can do it. I can do it all. I can be busy. I can do it. I can just grind through it. And when they finally allow themselves the permission to get one person to lock arms with them and be with them, just seeing how magnified everything in their life is. Like they had no idea the ROI in their business
right.
as they could be more efficient. Like all of you on this call, whatever position you are in, like you are the superpower. You are the superpower. And if you just get to magnify and live in your unique genius fully, like you can light whatever you're doing on fire. And so that's my favorite. Like, yes, I can hire away a $28 hour job for $10 an hour. And that's going to make a difference in my business and more than that because they are better than that. Like they'll do a rock star job.
Right.
Biggest thing is when you stop doing $10 an hour things.
Yes. No, there's so much power to that. I love that so much. I think that what you just said in taking that leap and allowing yourself, giving yourself permission, that's really where we have to focus. That's the first step. The first step to us taking a leap is giving ourselves permission that we can't do it all. We can't. And I think a lot of people can relate on here. You know, we're in sales and business owners and entrepreneurs and have confidence, and there's a piece of us that maybe some pride even that's telling us we can do it all. We can. And it's just not the way life works. We just cannot do it all. So it's just giving yourself permission and letting it be okay and knowing that you're going to get, like you said, you're going to light yourself on fire. You're going to take that next step. In order to get there, you have to just give yourself permission and see where it can take you.
And I
So,
think people think, like when you said that, I mean, it was like people think of this as like I'm spending $2,000 on myself, like they're acting like it's an expense, like a massage or something. And I'm not good at massage. I mean, you should by all means get a massage because that also is like great for
do that too.
do that too. And you will be more efficient and you absolutely, I mean, I believe in doing all those things
Self
for you.
care.
But people so go into an assistant like it's an expense, like like that they're going to the spa or something.
Like it's a selfish act of like self care.
And it all the self-care you deserve as well, but
Yes.
it's so much more than that. It's like you are replacing your like just pouring gasoline on yourself. Like it's the biggest investment you can make in getting yourself forward.
Yeah, no, I love that. I want to jump over really quickly and kind of tie this back up into RepCard just a little bit. You talked about some automations or tools. One of those tools being virtual assistants or virtual partners that can aid you in your business, but there's a lot of tools. And you talked about automations. You know, what can you give to a virtual assistant and what tools can we utilize? And that's really what RepCard has done, is provided a tool. And our entire motto at RepCard is how can we give a tool to these reps and business owners so that they can go spend more time with their family? That's literally all that we want, is to give you a tool that you can utilize so that you can go do what you enjoy and love, which is why, you know, we get along so well with Angela and Unique Genius. That's it, gosh, I just resonate with that so much. So, you know, we've provided a tool, and it's half, almost a full CRM for sales reps, but it can do your follow-up campaigns and text to your homeowners. You know, it does all of those automations for you. It can give you the maps. You can set reminders and schedules. There's just so many parts of our jobs and our lives that can be automated to take it off of us so that we really can go do the things that we love and enjoy doing. So yeah, that's just something that I really resonate with you on that aspect. And guys, that's a plug for not only RepCard but tools in your life. That's up and coming. And you know, what other tools in the industry have you seen, Angela, that are up and coming and changing people's lives and automating them for all of these guys on the call?
And that was the first, when I went back to Unique Genius and you looking at that list, those are the things you do before you delegate or find a person. Is what don't I need to be doing? And then the second is how can I automate it? And yeah, RepCard's such a powerful tool for that. And how do you use those to the maximum? And I just think we're so guilty of like, oh, okay, that's that. I'll get this tool, and then I don't take time to just take a breath and see how I can use it to its fullest and absolutely automate everything. And if that's not your strength, then find somebody who it is, even if it's not a full-time executive partner. Like, get a friend, get a child. I say get a child because they have more patience for this. But seriously, like get somebody, lock arms with them. You guys, I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of us are in this phase of like, remember when we used to have to tell well, this is dating me, but people, our parents or whatever, how to use, I don't know, I was like, how to use the VCR or remote control. You guys have different examples than that. But sometimes we just need we don't want to sit down and figure out all the features of RepCard and how it can work. That doesn't mean you have to have a full-time assistant, but find somebody who can get your stuff automated for a second and use all the features and just give you the cliff notes here to be able to use it. So that's one. Just find somebody that can do all those things, because I am the most guilty of it. And I will say with RepCard, I mean, like I have to come up to you and I'm just like, give you my phone. I was like, can you just please tell me again how I like scan?
How do I share my card? How do I get somebody's contact? 100%. No, I love that you brought this up because this is really what we've been focused on at RepCard. Anytime we get a client that's canceled, and the reason for that is not because RepCard is not a great tool, it's because they don't know how to utilize it to the fullest. And I can't tell you the conversations that I've had of not understanding all the features, or that they only thought that RepCard was just a digital business card, where they're missing the canvassing, the scheduling, the text campaigns and follow up with customers. So there's so much that goes into that. And I love that you said that. RepCard truly has so much help for you guys to understand the tool. And with any tool, make sure that you understand the features, or that somebody on your team knows how to utilize those features. Doesn't have to all be on you. But what a waste. The biggest waste, I tell everyone this, the biggest waste, and what we don't want to do at RepCard, is to provide you with a tool that you don't utilize. We don't want you to pay for a tool that sits at the wayside and then you cancel in a year and you did nothing with it. That's not helping you. You can do the same with an assistant. You can get an assistant, and I've done that. I've done that and learned the hard way that I got a virtual assistant and I didn't turn those things over. I didn't take the time to just train and say, these are the things I need you to take on and get them off my plate. So both with a tool and with an assistant, it's really up to you to figure out how to get those off of your plate and move forward.
Yes. So there are lots of cool tools out there. You had asked me, I don't even know. I mean, evolves so much every day, you guys. I would just say, even if you're not like in the rooms, or get yourself in some conversations of how to use the basics of how are you not fully utilizing ChatGPT. The new 5 is mind blowing that it doesn't just, I mean, I talk to it every day and I ask it to like refine my processes. I have one that's my coach. I have a very well trained in my voice, has everything like it's always recording me. So I always have something recording me that is loading a bot for me, that is just more intelligent than me. It's like it's like Angela 5.0 or something. Um,
ChatGPT and bots know us better than we know ourselves.
they do. I was like, oh man, you're so smart. Um, but like if you're not fully utilized, like get a buddy in those things. Get somebody to help you use and ask, um, in those tools.
No, it's so true. Reach out to people that are utilizing it. Reach out to, usually there's somebody with software that they can help you and give you the assistance that you need. Gosh, we are running out of time. I could talk and talk and talk with you, Angela. We could just keep going.
I know this has been so much fun.
So much fun. I do want to open it up to some more questions from the chat. And it looks like Carlos has thrown one in. He said, "Hey guys, so I started my own online business. I was wondering if there's a way to direct people more towards social media."
So yeah, I mean, I'm going to take it as you need help with social media. That's another area that is just constantly changing, because of AI as well. Like it's hard to just do it yourself, stay up to date with algorithms, what each platform wants, and stay up with the people that are using AI. So I'm going to say from our perspective, that is something that we help a lot of people with, that a lot of people that have an executive assistant have a personal brand specialist or a social media specialist. The great thing about people on our team is they get to be part of a mastermind or a pod of people that are in the industry. So if you're in the roofing industry, they're all like together exchanging ideas. If they're doing social media, they're all exchanging ideas. Like, guess what? This update came out. They all listen to, there's so many podcasts out there that like the daily, like, I don't know what the AI one is. There's a social media morning update podcast. So that instead of you having to listen to those, that somebody can listen to those and, be focused on staying up to date, repurposing your content, and keeping you relevant and getting results.
Yeah, that's a great question. Logan, yes, we will put up the recording. It will be live up in RepCard, and we will also email that out to our users so you can replay this and watch this back. Does anyone else have any more questions for us? Did we miss anything? We'll give it a quick second. In the meantime, I'll watch for any more questions. You guys, I don't want to cut you off. If you've got more questions, let us know. But right out the gate, I just want to end with Angela. We're so grateful for you and um, what you bring to the table in offering virtual assistants and partners that can help all of us just excel and pour gasoline onto the fire. I love that analogy. We are doing the same here at RepCard. That's the point of, we've got lead tracking and follow-up campaigns for your homeowners and scheduled reminders for you, canvassing. We do so much more than just a digital business card. Reviews, referrals, all of those can be ran through RepCard. So if you guys need help and you have not utilized the tool to its best ability, please come reach out to me. Hit us up at RepCard. We want to help you utilize all of those features. And Angela, if you guys have questions on that, we are definitely going to put Angela's link in the chat right now. So you guys can book with her if you've got more questions on what to delegate or how to get things off of your plate. I'm trying not to use the word delegate, but it just keeps coming out.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. We still use it. So
Just that term. It's what we're used to. So I am gonna just throw in this last question. What can we do to anchor in and ground the high energy of creation on the fly? That is a tricky question. So what can we do to anchor in and ground the high energy of creation on the fly?
I'm going to say the first thing that came to my mind is I always have notes is like my favorite thing on my phone. And I am always just voicing into it as well. But I just use the basic Apple Notes on my phone. And anytime you have like creative energy, like I don't let it go. It's a concept I don't ever quote this many books, but Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, that there is big magic and creative ideas floating around us all the time. And that's why the concept of creativity and chaos don't exist. And by all means, if you catch a moment of the big magic and creativity floating around you, do not let it go. Do not let that thought go because I have to get back to this call or this thing, and have a mechanism of that you do it. I also have um, like a recorder always on so that you can like just always record into something. But if I'm on a call or something, I type it into notes. So that's a great question. I hope that that answered your question. That's so important when you have things. And I'm going to wrap it up with that again, it's the power of an executive assistant. I always intentionally brain dump the last thing before I go to bed. And the first thing when I get up in the morning is just anything, like let that creativity flow and write or speak it into something.
Yeah, when you can just brain dump and get that out of the way, then we open up space in our mind to be creative and to do other things. So I can't agree with that more. At RepCard, we actually just talked about this in our team meeting about chatting to ourselves. So a lot of us were taking notes or making lists, but we don't necessarily get that notification. And something that we love is actually chatting it. So if you're utilizing Slack or whatever tools you're utilizing, you can just chat to yourself if you didn't know that, and then you're going to have a notification or a green bubble, so you won't let that go without checking back in. So I know you'll want to check that off if you're anything like me. You can't leave it unread. So I love that brain dump so that we can have more headspace and move forward. Angela, unique genius, we love you. We're so grateful for the services that you provide and how you really help people step back into their unique genius and help them, you know, put more fuel to the fire and just explode their businesses. What you do is incredible, and we're so grateful for you. Thank you for joining us on the RepCard webinar.
Oh, thank you, Jess. You are magnificent and love everything you are doing at RepCard. And yeah, it just so aligns. And let's help people work more efficiently through automation and people.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We'll do this again, you guys. And jump in the chat and click the link if you would like to book time with Angela. We definitely want you to be able to connect with her. And we will get this put up on the RepCard library and emailed out to everyone so you can play that back as well. But we are so grateful for all of you and hope you guys have a wonderful day.